much money you want to have, the dates, what type of sacrifices are you going to make, and then having your statement, right? And then reading it twice daily. So not only do you want to have that is like the transcripts, yes, but there's still more work that has to be done more than just reading that twice a day. There's still more work that has to be done in terms of figuring out little things here and there that needs to be tended to, right? Yes, you want to reach this amount of money, but how are we going to actually do that? How are we actually going to get there, right? You want to have this amount of people in your business, okay, yes, but how are we going to actually do that? What do we need to get there, right? How many of us, I mean, whoever's business owners or whatever the case is, how many of us have actually planned out what our business should look like if we hit chairman or chairwoman? How many P5s do you want? How many P2s do you need? How many P1s? How many P6s? How many of us have actually done that? I've done it, right? You got to understand that it's something as simple as that is something that you need. Something that you need to know so that you know that you're moving on the right track, right? So that you know that, okay, if I'm able to hit my next goal and I need this many P2s or this many P1s, let's say I need 5 P1s and I only have 3. I got to create 2 more P1s. I got to fulfill my game plan. I got to fulfill the action behind everything that I've written down, right? But again, you have to go into the nitty gritty of it. You have to really look at you have to look at what's beyond the eye. You have to look at beyond the surface of everything that's happening, right? You got to dig a little bit deeper and say, okay, but in order for me to get this, what do I really need to tap into? That's why we're focusing so much on our education. That's why we're starting to structure up and we're having the syllabus and the welcome letter and just more organization, more structure into our culture, into our family, so that we can now have the game plan out, have the structure out, so that we can effectively put the work in for it to really build itself up, right? But again, that goes with what's going on with you, right? Then you have to look at yourself and say, hey, aside from this business, what else is it that I can do to structure up myself to get to my goals? What else is there that I can do for me to become a better person, for me to truly grow within this space, for me to really hit that spiritual being that I'm attempting to be, for me to really call myself from the future to bring myself here so that it can really actually start to play out. We are living in history. This is history in the making, right? What's destined for us has not happened yet. We are living in history, right? Cool. So what are we going to do to change the future? Or what are we going to do to get to our future, right? Viva always says the future is easy to predict because we create our future, right? Everything that we do is because of us. The majority of what it is that we do is because of us. The majority of the situations that we encounter is because of us. And if we have no control over the exact situation, then how we react is because of us, right? That's why I always say don't react. You just need to act. See and say less. Know something and move accordingly, right? In terms of the protests and the riots and things that are happening, everyone has their way of expressing. People go to social media to talk about it. People are going in the streets to protest about it. People are alluding to express their feelings about it, or whatever the case is, right? Some people don't post. I have not publicly spoken out aside from these calls. I don't plan to be honest, because I'm going to focus my energy on what's going to help me grow so that I can be the change. Because if we look back, the protests and the protests and the protests and the fights and the riots and everything, these have been happening for hundreds of years. It doesn't change anything. What's really going to change is the way we see ourselves, the way we move as a human being, as an individual. It always starts with you. It starts with you, right? So what are you going to do to make a difference? What have you done that has allowed a change? What work and what action have you put in that's going to allow you to grow to that person, right? What are the things that you've been able to elevate on, or what's the things that you've been able to educate yourself on that's going to allow you to think for yourself, that's going to allow you to grow and see the change that you want to see in the world? Because it has to start with you. There's no way you can be the change in the world if you are not the change, if you have not changed. Something's got to give. This is the same thing over and over and over again. It's like how we say in this business, if you find you're not finding success, something's got to give. You got to change. You got to do something. You're doing the same thing over and over and over again. That's the definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. Something's got to give, right? It's the same thing we've been doing for years and years. Whenever something happens, we protest, we riot. Something happens, we protest, we riot. Something happens, we protest. Where is the real change? Something else has to give. It has to be a different way. There has to be a different way. Once we start to empower ourselves, and once we start to step up into our true potential, into our purpose, that's why I said to you guys yesterday, figure out your purpose. Find your purpose. And for some people, it's not easy. Some people don't know what their purpose is here on this earth. Let me tell you, you are here for a reason. You are supposed to be here. You're meant to be here. It's meant to be this way. I promise you. So if this is your space, if this is your vehicle, you need to find your purpose within this space, within this vehicle. There are many different outlets you can take within this space, if you think about it. So you got to find which way is going to best benefit you. Because you have to be you. Don't try and pretend to be somebody else. It's not going to work. Right? But understand that, like I said, you're here for a reason. You're in a space where we literally have the key to poverty, the key to the financial situation. We may not have all the keys, but the financial situation is a very big key. A very big key that will change a lot. So at the end of the day, money is power, unfortunately. It just is what it is. Money makes the world go around, right? It's how we get to eat. It's how we get to sleep. It's how we live. It's how we move from one place to the other place. It's how we make transactions. No, it's not the sole way, but it's the biggest way. The biggest way, right? So, what are some things that are going to help you aside from the money? Because if you guys take this opportunity, I want you guys to look at this opportunity from a different perspective. If you took away the money from this opportunity and actually look at what it is that we have at our hands, look at what it is that we have at our hands, right? We have a skill set that was only available to the richest of the rich, the top 1% in the world, top 2% in the world. This is a skill that was only accessible to them. Understand that they're the top 1% and 2% because they keep the secrets to themselves. They messed up and gave us the blueprint. Forget about the money part of it. The point is, we are getting the blueprint to their success. And not only do we have this skill, but with coming in this space and dealing with such a heavy skill that actually allows us to propel ourselves forward in life, right? Now we really have the opportunity to grow as people. Remember, your money's going to meet you where you're at, right? Your money's going to meet you where you're at. So take away the money. What other things are we able to benefit from this space? Brandon Thompson said the other day, this is a space where you can go to church, you can work out, you have a strong support system, right? Y'all get together, we have a family environment. The money is just the common denominator. The money is the thing that's attracting all of us to this space. But if we take away the money and we look at the type of mentorship that we're getting, we're looking at the type of value that we're getting. We have the top people in many industries, whether it's the trading industry or the marketing industry or the education industry. We have top people in these industries that are pouring into us, that are feeding us this information. Forget about the money. Take the value. These are people who have made it to the top. The money is a byproduct of the way you move. The money is a byproduct of the way you think, the way you act, the way you see, the way you learn, right? So put the money aside for a second, because the money is going to come. The money will come once you actually take the time to dive into your education, to dive into your purpose, to dive into the reason why we're here, to dive into the fact that you can literally become the person you always dreamt of becoming. But that comes with work, and it comes with work, and it comes with more work and more work, right? We have to put in the work in order for us to really see those successes, to really reach those levels. But the more work we put in, the more money that's going to come our way. We don't have to chase it. The money has to come. Once we start to align ourselves with the actions and the success and the habits of the successful people, once we take the keys and the gems that they're giving us, Bob Proctor is giving us the key to literally thinking ourselves into riches. Mind you, Napoleon Hill did that in the book, but Bob Proctor with his teachings and whatever the case is, He's giving us the key to shift our paradigm so that we can think ourselves into the lives that we want to live. It all has to start here. It all started here some time ago. How many eons ago, right? Had to start here. And it really and truly, this is just the brain. It's all started with a thought. But your mindset is a spiritual thing. It's very much a spiritual thing. Right? So what are you doing? What are you really doing to grow within this space? You have to grow within this space. Otherwise, this space is going to leave you behind. We are literally time traveling when it comes to this space. We're literally moving 5 years, 10 years ahead in a matter of a number of months or a couple years. We are producing 6, 7, 8-figure earners in under 5 years within the space. We are time traveling. This is not supposed to happen. This is not the way the system intended it to be. This is not the way the system wanted us to achieve. It's not. There's a reason why it wasn't always accessible to us, because they understand the power behind what it is that they're teaching. They understand the power of behind the actual markets. They understand the type of mental capacity that you need to have in order to achieve your success and maintain your success. It's not about the money. The money will come. How many of you guys have made money in the business without even not knowing what you're doing? Drop a 1 in the chat. You made money in this business without knowing what you're doing, without knowing how you did it, without understanding real market structure. The money will come. You will make the money. What keeps the money and what helps you maintain that success is the mindset that you have behind it. The mindset that you have, because again, your money is going to meet you where you are. Your money is going to meet you where your mindset is, right? We talked about fake out. Don't be a fake out. We gain a whole couple hundred of thousands of dollars and it comes right back because we haven't grown into that. We haven't grown into earning that consistently. Once we start to make it consistently, then we've truly elevated because we've truly taken the time to educate ourselves and to dip into the things that we need for us to get to that level. To dip into the things that are going to literally carry us into the next level of life. Carry us into a status where they don't want us to be at. Now, when we do it as a collective, when the minorities come together, or when the poor class or middle class or whatever the case is come together to achieve things like this, they don't want that. They don't. I'll be honest. Right? Did you guys know that the difference between the middle class and the poor class, back when I heard this statistic, was about $5,000. The difference between classified as poor, the lower class, which is about 20K income a year. Anything below that, poverty line was about 20K a year per household or something like that. Middle class, the borderline for middle class was the average household the average household income for the middle class was $25,000 a year. Poverty line is $20,000 a year. That is a very, very small gap compared to the money that the higher class is making. Their average is about 100 something a year. Average. The gap between the poor class and the middle class is this small compared to the gap between the middle class and the high class. That's why they said there will soon no longer be a middle class. It's either you're rich or you're poor. Especially in this day and age where information is literally at your fingertips. You go on Google, you go Safari, whatever the case is, search up whatever it is you want, boom, your answer is right there. Information is at your fingertips, literally about anything that you need, right? And I want us to really start looking at a deeper scope, right? Yes, we're here to make money. Yes, we're here to learn this skill. But in terms of change, we have to look deeper. We can't look at what we're seeing. We can't look at the surface view of the things that are happening right now. We got to look at, okay, cool. Yes, it starts with me. It's going to be a movement that everybody has to hold themselves accountable. Each and every one of you on this call has to hold yourself accountable. You've got 12 people on this call, right? If you're not able to hold yourself accountable, you are part of the problem. You are part of the problem. They've been protesting for hundreds of years. Nothing has changed. Protesting is not just saying it doesn't work, but it's not making a systematic change. We need a systematic change. And to do that, we have to empower ourselves as a race, as a human race. Not black, not white, whatever, human race. We need to wake up. We need to pay attention to what's happening. We need to not take this opportunity for granted. We need to not take this space for granted, because this space is where they're giving us all the keys, literally. Literally. They're giving us all the gems. They're giving us all the information that we need to get to where they are, literally. They're telling us what we need to do. They're telling us how we need to think. They're telling us how we need to move. They're telling us who we need to listen to. We've got to pay attention to that. We got to be humble enough and say, hey, I am just a pawn in their game of chess. They're the ones who created the game, or if they're the ones who've been playing the game, they're telling me the rules of the game. They're telling us the rules of the game. Why am I going to try and implement my own rules to this game? It doesn't make sense. You're hurting yourself. Right? Be submissive. Understand that this is information that has changed a lot of lives. This is information that's going to set us free. Understand that the majority of us in this group, not just our personal group, but in Trade House altogether, are minorities. Once you start to create more 6- and 7-figure earners, we become more valuable, because that's how they see you. They don't see you about what you know. They see you about how much is in your pockets. Because you could be one of the most ignorant, uneducated people, but if you got money, they'll move. If you got money, they'll listen to you. So that's all we have to do, right? When I say forget about the money, I don't literally mean, yeah, it's not important. No, it's very important. It's one of the most important things. But understand that that's going to come with the way we grow within the space. That's going to come with the efforts that we put forth. That's going to come with the things we decide to indulge ourselves in and pay attention to and feed into, right? And it's got to be the right things. Where are you directing your energy? What are you putting your efforts towards? Right? Like Biva said, I'll be out there protesting with you guys, whatever the case. By the time I get back, I'm going to make sure that I tend to what I need to do in order to change. I'll be out in the front lines, whatever. When I get back, I'm going to make sure that I'm tending to my personal needs. I'm tending to the information that I need for me to grow. Remember, everybody's story is different. Everybody's journey is different. What may be the thing for me to grow may not be the thing for you to grow directly. Right? We all have different aspects that we need to work on, that we need to develop, which is why we learn off of each other, which is why we come together as a group and we educate each other, right? Because some of us have strengths and other people's strengths are somebody else's weaknesses. You just got to balance it out, learn off each other, balance it out, so that we can become one, stronger together as one. Remember that example that I used with the 200K winds, the storm. If you're trying to fight that storm with 200 kilometers of wind, you're getting blown over. You're getting blown over. But if you're marching up a hill, elbows locked, with the person to the right of you and the person to the left of you, elbows locked, and then they have someone to the right of them and the left of them, and then the right of them and left of them, next thing you know, we have a whole army. How much easier is it going to be moving up that hill knowing that we have everybody's effort, everybody's strength moving forward? Not just holding hands like this, so that it's loose waves, loose winds. Oh, you might disconnect. Oh no, we're locked at the elbows. We're really locked in and like holding that. It's harder to blow that down once you have a solid bond with each other, solid foundation with each other. It's hard to tear that apart, right? So we're building relationships. We're working with each other. We're growing together. But that comes with everybody holding themselves accountable and everybody playing their part, everybody putting whatever work that they need to put in effectively. I even said that right. But, you know, right? You got to make sure that you're doing whatever it is that you need to be doing. Don't come into this space and be a log. Don't come into this space and be a leech. Don't come into this space and expect somebody to spoon feed you the entire way. We're going to spoon feed you though, especially when you're new. We're going to make sure you get it. We're going to make sure that you're eating. But there's got to be some point where you say, you know what? Time for me to do what I got to do. Time for me to step up and do a little bit more. Time for me to be my own change. Time for me to take my education into my own hands. Time for me to finally speak up. Time for me to embody everything that we're doing here and be a vessel. I need to be the next vessel. Right? Because this is something that's literally going to change a lot. Understand, guys, I want you guys to understand that this is not going away anytime soon. This entire situation, this entire ordeal. They may start to open up a few things here and there, yada, yada, yada. No. They're playing with you. They're playing with you completely. Don't fall for it. Continue to fight the fight. Continue to focus on what we have. Continue to push yourselves. Whatever it is that you need to grow, however you need to fit yourself within this space, whatever you need to do, whether it's your own personal, like I know Daquana's studying her PhD, her research, right? We have a whole bunch of other people in here that are doing their own personal things that are going to help them grow. Do that. Because all of that is going to help you become a stronger you so that we can fight this fight. But don't forget about this fight. Because this is going to be the fight that changes everything. So you just got to show up. Show up, show out every single day. You work on getting 1% better every single day. You work on tapping in every single day. You work on your discipline every single day. You fight yourself every single day. I'm telling you, there's times where you say you don't want to do anything or whatever the case is. Maybe you might be having this internal conversation. Speak it out loud. Tell yourself to get up. Tell yourself to get it done. Now it's like, I heard it. Am I really going to ignore myself? Do I lack that much discipline that I can't even follow my own command? Think of it like that. Don't let your body control you. You control it. Don't let your thoughts control you. You control it. Learn how to take your control. Learn how to be one. If any of you guys follow Dana Chanel and Prince Donnell, they're an entrepreneurial couple. If you guys pay attention, for any of you who do follow them, they've been doing this workout journey for like a year now, or good set of months. A whole shift they did. Yeah, they're lit. What Dana says every time when it comes to her physical, she says, I am not a slave to my body, or something like that. I am not a slave to my body. My body doesn't control me. I control it. Become one. You got to figure out who you are. You got to figure out your insides and out. We need you. You need you. I said that yesterday. Right? And just be real. Don't lie to yourself. Don't lie to yourself when things are happening. Face the facts. Right? Understand when something is happening to you, and understand when something is happening because of you. There is a difference. And a lot of times we can't tell the difference. But if you're able to control yourself and you're able to be aware of your surroundings and you're able to pay attention to detail, you will understand the difference between when something is happening because of you and when something is happening to you. Right? The whole COVID stuff, it's not happening because of us. We didn't do that. Right? But it's happening to us. What you have control of is how you react to it. The protests, the civil war, the civil rights stuff, all that stuff going on, it's not happening because of us. Well, however you want to place it. However, how are you reacting to the situation? It's not happening directly to us either, but it does affect us. So how are you changing the situation? Or how are you reacting to the situation? Are you reacting at all? Are you reacting out of anger just because you want to let off that steam? you reacting off an impulse? Or are you processing your thoughts? Are you taking a step to think about really everything that's happening? Are you taking a minute to be aware of why things are going down the way they're going down? Something can only make you mad if you allow it to make you mad. Something can only piss you off if you allow it to piss you off. Something can only hurt you if you allow it to hurt you. Something can only bother you. You guys get what I'm saying? It starts with you. How do you perceive these situations? How do you perceive this information? It's all about perspective. Somebody can say, man, my glass is half empty. Somebody can say, yeah, well, my glass is half full. And somebody else can say, yo, I got a glass. What up? It's all about perspective. Right? So I want you guys to take a minute. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. You don't think about it. We're going to mentally rehearse. We're going to mentally rehearse where we want to go, where we want to be. When you wake up in the morning, what sheets are you sleeping on? Pay attention to the little things, the finer details of things. When you wake up, what sheets are you sleeping on? How big is your bed? How high up is your bed off the ground? Right? What kind of blankets are you under? When you get up out of your bed, you look out your window, what is your scenery like? What is your environment like? Are you looking at water? Are you looking at skyscrapers? Are you looking at nature, at forests? What are you looking at when you look out your bedroom window? You go into the bathroom, you go have a shower. What does your shower look like? I've seen some showers recently on Instagram, and I'm just like, wow, perspective. Like, that's different. Like, you could really just imagine anything that you want, and then you can make it happen. What kind of shower are you in? You get out the shower, you go to get dressed, you walk into your closet. Do you have a walk-in closet? I would hope so. How big is your walk-in closet? What kind of clothes are hanging up in your walk-in closet? What does it look like? Do you have a bench in your walk-in closet? For my ladies, what does your makeup table look like? For my fellas, what does your jewelry drawers and everything look like? Whatever it is. What does it all look like? You come out the closet, what's next? Are you walking downstairs into your living room to be met by some breakfast and a family? Or are you just walking into your kitchen in your condo, making food for yourself, ready to start your day? How do you want to live? What do you want to see? What do you want to be around? You go outside. How many cars do you have? What kind of cars do you have? Are you in an underground parking lot? Or do you have a 3-door garage? Do you have a water fountain in your lawn? Are you in a penthouse? Ask yourself that. Open your eyes. Remember, we are still right here. We are still right here in reality. We are still right here in present day. Well, understand that that day that you just saw was today. That day that you see in your head is today. Because when it happens, it's going to be today. It'll still be today. So what are you doing today to change your today? What are you doing today to bring your today to here, right now? We're living in history. We're living in a moment where all of our dreams and our desires and our potential and our purpose and everything has not even come to pass yet. It will come to pass. We're living in a world that could be so beautiful, but right now it's not. Truth of the matter. Right now it's not, but we have the power to make it beautiful again. We have the power to bring that strength back. We have the power to bring that foundation back into this world, to bring that control back into this world, to where we don't have to be locked up. We don't have to be under somebody else's rules. We don't have to be worried about coming close to one another because of COVID. We don't have to worry about that stuff because we're able to bring the world back to its balance, to its natural balance. How do we do that? We have to internalize who we are. We're spiritual beings living in human bodies. This is not our home. We have to, there's a reason why we have dreams and visions, and we imagine places of where we want to go, and we imagine things that we want to see. Any of you ever had a vivid dream to the point where it's not our home? Any of you have a vivid dream to the point where you realize, whoa, like, I swear I dreamt about this before? Have the weirdest moment of deja vu. We're just here to live this human life. We're here to experience the human life. We are spiritual beings. I'm not going to go deep into it, because I can start to say some real, I'm not going to go too deep into it. But what I'm what I'm coming to you guys with today is just internalize everything and make the change, starting with you. Don't go and fight somebody else's fight when you haven't even fought your fight. Fight your fight and conquer your fight before you try and go and fight something else. Because at the end of the day, when you go and finish fighting that fight, you still have to come back and fight your fight. So fight your fight first so that you can be strong enough, so that you can have enough power, and you have the skill, and you have the mindset, and you have the everything that it takes to be equipped to fight that fight. Doesn't make sense for you to go into a fight that you're not trained for. Doesn't make sense for you to head into a war that you have not practiced for, that you have not practiced your target shooting or whatever the case is. Doesn't make sense for you to go play a game that you have not warmed up for. You're going to end up losing. And that's what's been happening for years and years and years and years. We lose these fights because we try to fight their fight before we fight our own fight. We try and fix the world's problem before we can fix our own personal problems. We try and go and say who needs to do this and who needs to do that, and what it should be like when you don't even have your home straight. How dare you? Fight your fight. That wasn't directed at anybody directly, just saying. Just talking my talk. Fight your fight. Show up for yourself. And once you show up for yourself, now you're strong enough. Now you're that soldier that we need for you to help us fight this fight, so that we can all fight this fight together. Because as of right now, when it comes to whatever's happening in the world, it's not going to take one person to change this. It's not going to take 2 people or 10 people or 100 or 1,000 or 1,000,000. It's not going. 1,000,000's not even enough. This has to be the entire world has to internalize and become one with yourself. Figure out who we are. Tend to our own needs. Put the work in for what we need to focus on. And if every single person does that, there's no stopping us. Because now we figured it out. We cracked the code. We are connected. Right? A lot of people die twice in their lifetime. Once at the actual age of death, and once in their 20s. Because they get stuck in the system. And it's a vicious cycle that they repeat for years and years and years and years and years. We are in a place where we are breaking that cycle. That's why we say we're breaking generational curses. That is not a light term. People are flinging it around like, oh yeah, we're breaking generational curses, and then go home and watch TV and watch Netflix and then drink and just cool it. No. You're feeding into the generational curse. What are you really going to do to break this generational curse? What are you really going to do to make that difference for your family? It has to start with you, because once it starts with you and you continue to reproduce, it'll be translated on downwards. It'll be translated forwards, right? It'll be translated into your family, your kids, your spouse, your whoever. Now you're going to multiply it and grow it and grow it. That's what's been happening for hundreds and hundreds of years. So why can't we just take it back? Why can't we just take what they're doing? We can't get sucked into the norm. We can't get sucked into the masses. We're in a space where that is not for the masses. We're in a space that is oblivious to the masses. We're in a space that you can't fit your regular entire being of who you are and expect to see that success. You have to change. You have to fix up. Right? Once we start doing what the masses are doing, that's what they want us to do, because we are the masses. This is population control. Once they start to lose control, things start to go crazy. They start to implement more laws to continue to keep control. They start to make this and make that a thing and here and there to control it and keep everything under one hood. Once you have people breaking that cycle, you're going to have different voices. You're going to have different opinions. And a lot of those voices and opinions are going to be from people. A lot of those voices and opinions are going to be from people who genuinely made that change, who have come from the masses, who have come from a place of hurt, who have come from a place of controlling, who have come from a place of no say so. That's why we got to keep fighting our fight. That's why we got to keep educating ourselves. Education is going to be one of the biggest things that makes a difference in this world. People need to educate themselves. People got to stop being ignorant. People got to wake up to the real facts of what's happening. Right? But once we start to do that, it's just going to be a domino effect. That's how we break the generational curse. By actively putting forward that work. By actively showing up and making the effort. It sucks. We're literally about to go into a world of complete lockdown if we're not careful. So many restrictions that we can't move freely without somebody breathing down my neck. That's why we need to move now. That's why we need to figure out who we are now. That's why we need to act now. So we got to do what we got to do now. And we're doing that. I'm not coming at you guys saying that nobody's doing it. We're doing it. But on a holistic view. As a world, if everybody comes together to really figure out who they are, to be in touch with with themselves, like I said, you die twice. Once in your 20s. The majority of people who die in their 20s are disconnected from who they are. Not all. Not all. But they're disconnected from their spiritual self. They're disconnected from the dreams and the all the goals that they had set for themselves into the future. They got stuck in the trap. They got stuck in the race. They got stuck in the cycle. Right? But we're getting the keys. We're getting the gems. So now it's time for us to translate that. To learn and to not teach is to not know it all. Or to know and not teach is to not know it all. Doesn't make sense to sit on information that you know. Share the information because you never know what could happen. You never know whose eyes you may open up. You never know whose perspective you may change. And that might take them all the way to the moon. That might take them all the way into the universe. That might allow them to run forever. That might be that kick for them that says, you know what? I'm here. I'm present. I'm showing up. What do I need to do? I'm locked in. I'm with you. What do I need to do? And that's how we get another link. We're tied together. Another link. We're pushing left, right, left, right. We get another person because they see what we're doing. They see the vision and they understand it. Get another person. We're even stronger now. Left, right. And then somebody over there sees the same thing and adds on to the end too. All right, let's keep going. Left, right. But it has to start with one person, which is you. You got to be that change. You got to be the one to open up the floodgates. You got to be the one to open up the eyes. Make people aware. Help people get aware, I should say. But remember to fight your fight before you try and go fight somebody else's, before you try and go fight on something else. Because like when you come back home, you still have your fight to fight. You never figure out your fight, you'll never be properly equipped to go out and fight another fight. But that's all for me, y'all. It's 11:55. I'm gonna let y'all go. I appreciate you guys. Hope everyone has an amazing, blessed day. Vibrate high. My kings and queens, hold your head up high. Put your best foot forward. Let's go out and kill it today. Love y'all.